then it's your fault because you're the one who keeps calling him the GOAT.
I'm taking little tiny Steph.
Come on now. Let's stop.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Without wasting any time, let's look at our first hot take of the day.
To unleash right now, would you rather have Steph or KD?
Steph. At some point in time, we're going to have to stop falling in love with Kevin Durant intangibles. Oh, he's 7 foot tall. He has the wingspan of a pterodactyl. He's great at all three levels. He can shoot the three. He has a great mid-range. He can finish. And if you foul him, he goes to the free throw line. And
the question was asked right here, right now. Would you take Steph Curry or Kevin Durant?
Steph.
You would take Kevin Durant.
Okay, now how about this?
You know it, and I know it. Are you telling me that the best player on the planet is the same Steph Curry who epically failed so dramatically, so spectacularly in games 5, 6, and 7 of the 2016 finals that he went and recruited the man in question here to come save his legacy? When the billions of blind witnesses out there don't want to hear the real truth. The real truth was Kyrie quit on KD. KD went to Brooklyn only because of Kyrie, and then he betrayed him. He would not get vaccinated. He couldn't play home games. James Harden quit his way out of town because of that.
Okay, Skip is going to have to give it up when it comes to this Steph and Kevin Durant debate. You know, I'll be completely honest. I was a victim. I fell for the trap. And after realizing that I was being taken advantage of, I had to report it to the NBA headquarters. You know, if you're confused, what I'm referring to is I felt for how pretty Kevin Durant plays the game. You know, him being a 3-level scorer, blah, 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 you know the rest. But what good does that actually do if it does not transition into team success, into winning championships? You know, in terms of winning, purely winning, which is the whole point of professional sports, Steph is clear of Kevin Durant. Why? Because we've seen Steph with and without Kevin Durant and vice versa. There you go. There's your answer. It's really not that deep. The proof is in the pudding. And Skip always brings up Steph blowing a 3-1 lead to the Cavs in 2016, which as an OKC fan, I had my fair share of enjoyment. But inquisition into that, the Thunder literally blew a 3-1 lead that same year to the Warriors. So Skip's paper-thin logic holds no bounds whatsoever. Another point Skip usually brings up is Kevin Durant helping Steph Curry win those back-to-back titles, which I completely agree with. You know, Kevin Durant definitely played an imperative role to that Golden State Warriors team, but he seems to have thousands and thousands of excuses to justify why Kevin Durant has not won a title without Steph. You know, he constantly blames Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Steve Nash, Ben Simmons, Joe Harris, and even go as far as blaming Kevin Durant's shoe size. I mean, come on now. Come on. And just to add one more thing, I find it completely weird. I find it weird how Skip continues to go to war for Kevin Durant when he has on multiple occasions, you know, publicly ridicule him. You know, it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird, but this is a bad take from Skip Bayless. It's a terrible take. Here's our second hot take of the week.
Is Damian Lillard a superstar?
I think that Damian has all of the superstar qualities, but it's hard to put him in this moment because of he just like needs a little more. But obviously, like he has that in him.
Needs a little more.
I mean, he's got to win. He's got to get there. Like that. To me, that's some of it.
So like I think championships matter.
Now, let me first give you my definition of a superstar, because I see people throw that word very loosely, that stars are now called superstars. Guys, the benchmark has to be high when you add the word super to star. For me, personally, my definition of a superstar is a player who has a combination of all of the following. An individual who is currently considered a top 10 player in the league, a player with an individual accolade, either a regular season MVP, Finals MVP, or Defensive Player of the Year. A player with multiple first-team All-NBA or All-Defensive teams. And lastly, a player who has led their team to multiple second-round and conference playoff appearances or finals appearances. Following my definition, there are currently only 6 superstars in the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Nikola Jokic, and Kawhi Leonard. Guys like Embiid, Luka, Jason Tatum, and even Damian Lillard are borderline superstars in my opinion. Again, I do not agree with her definition of a superstar because I don't think you have to win a championship to be considered one. But I do agree with her regarding Damian Lillard not being a superstar. Let me know down in the comments what your definition of a superstar is.
Shannon, who's your most disrespected player ever?
Man, it's not even close. It's LeBron James.
What? How can it be disrespect when it's just facts? I don't embellish. I don't exaggerate. I just spit facts about LeBron James. He has so many self-inflicted wounds, so many epic fails, that it's not disrespect. It's just truth, truth, truth. Then it's your fault because you're the one who keeps calling him the GOAT. If you would just admit that Michael Jordan's the GOAT, we wouldn't have this discussion anymore.
No.
It would be just fine. There'd be no more disrespect. You're the one who keeps comparing him, putting him in the pantheon with Jordan, and he's not. It's your fault.
I'm not putting. I put him over.
Is LeBron the most disrespected player of all time? I mean, yes and no. Yes, because he plays in the social media era, so everything he does will be overanalyzed. But this applies to every other players as well. The reason why I wouldn't claim LeBron to be the most disrespected player of all time, it's because, I mean, let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Most of the quote-unquote disrespect that LeBron receives are basically self-inflicted. The guy calls himself the GOAT when the vast majority of current and former players say otherwise. You know, it's not just the players. Most fans and media members don't think that he's the GOAT. But because the general consensus is that Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time, LeBron and his fans who live in a Disney Plus and, WWE fake world, they view it as disrespect. So if you say LeBron is the second, third, or fourth best player of all time, then you're being disrespectful. What I found funny in the segment is Skip Bayless saying Russell Westbrook is the most disrespected player when he's the one who constantly disrespects him. I mean, Skip is a savage.
I just gave you all the epic fails. I get you, but the most intensely disrespected player I've ever seen has just been within the last year. It's Russell Westbrook. It just is.
So let's go to the last 11 playoff games, Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, because that's the only playoff games Mahomes has ever played in his career. Mahomes is 8-3, Aaron's 5-6. Mahomes is significantly more accurate, more touchdowns, fewer picks, 27 yards a game more passing, and a significantly better passer rating. It should be noted, Mahomes has multiple games. He's come from behind double digits. Aaron doesn't. And Mahomes' passer rating goes up in the fourth quarters in these 11 playoff games. Okay. So of those 11 playoff games, it's fair to say 4 to 5, Patrick is learning on the job, and Aaron's in his prime. You tell me. NFL is about January football. Who wins? Got to win in January. That's why Joe Burrow's a legend and Justin Herbert's talented. That's why Kyler Murray's talented and Joe Burrow's becoming a legend. And Mahomes is a legend. And Josh Allen soon will be. How you doing in January? Enough of the worship. Last 11 playoff games, Aaron's 5-6. Many at home as a favorite, off a bye. Come on now. Let's stop.
I completely agree with Colin here. We're not in 2010 or 2011 anymore. We're in 2022. You've got to update your resume. So if you ask me who's the better quarterback in terms of their all-time status, of course I'll be a fool not to say Aaron Rodgers. His body of work alone and personal achievements top what Mahomes has done so far in his career. But if you're asking me which quarterback I feel more comfortable with heading into this upcoming season, I'm going with Mahomes all day long. His record in the playoffs since he's entered the league speaks for itself. He's been doing it with an average, or some may argue a below average defense. So the only question I really have about Mahomes is, can he sustain this level for another 5, 6, or 7 years? But I agree with Colin here, and I don't know why Twitter was going crazy over his take.